nonsense, and I bet y'all didn't expect to see me tonight. Yeah, I normally take Saturday and Sunday off. But then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, hold on. First of all, New Year's Eve is coming up. Don't want to mess with them on that day. Then you got New Year's coming up, and I'm like, yo, maybe I should leave them be on New Year's, which would only leave 4 days. And then this breaking news fell out right into my lap, and I said, oh man. I mean, I know it's a little late, but well, mate, it's Saturday. Pretty sure somebody's up checking out something. So I said, let's go ahead and get this bit of breaking news out the way because it brings glee to my heart. Now, I mean, I rushed to get this together for you guys, so I ain't even put my normal entry in. You know, I'm gonna have to go ahead and I rock the planet, beat my chest like a silverback, hold it down, tip my crown on them. I'm a silverback, silence. There's some kings in the building. Throw your hands up, show them respect. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas here. Okay, there you go. I did my intro. Now, make sure you follow me on all of the other platforms. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that your notification button is turned on and set to all. All of those things are important to make sure that YouTube don't stick it to you. You guys have been doing a wonderful job letting me know what's going on with that. In fact, I got a response yesterday, which is a whole bunch of googly gaw once again, but I'm going to post this response so you all can read it. So you can see what YouTube is saying about you guys. Because see, apparently you guys don't know how to operate your own YouTube channel. You're probably messing up and you're accidentally unsubscribing yourself. Who knows? Who knows? A lot of bull crap. So I'm going to go ahead and post that so everybody can see how YouTube is playing games. And I just got to figure out where to post it and so you all can read it and see what goes on behind closed doors. Now, you can support the channel also by checking out Kevin's Corner Store. And I do have a link right below this video for my monthly fundraiser. If you want to help support the channel that way, you can. Now, guys, yeah, last night I was talking about that crazy chick up in Maine that lost her brains. The one that was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow suit with the 4 dummies up there. The 4 dummies up there in Colorado. I'm going to do that. That's right. I'm going to be a trailblazer, a pioneer. And now she done stepped in it. So the media now is coming out to try to run some interference for her and to legitimize her decision and to pretend they're just being, you know, fair and balanced and they're just interviewing her to give her side of the story and stuff like that with no pushback. Now, can you imagine a conservative, you know, person, some judges or a conservative Secretary of State making this decision? I mean, wait until you see this interview that this guy right here is about to give her. As he helps and coaches her through her PR. See, he's trying to run PR for her. It's amazing. And he thinks we don't see it. He thinks we don't see it. So now that the heat has come down on her, the heat is on. The heat is the heat's on her. As if she didn't consider this when she made this decision. And just like those Supreme Court judges up there in Colorado, sure enough, my life is in jeopardy for making dumb choices. And I'm in danger that I get hate mail now. And they all want a piece of me. They want a shot at the title because I ain't even do nothing. So you go out there and you make what you know to be a very controversial decision. And you aren't even close to a position to be able to make this decision. And you think you're not going to suffer any criticism. But they got the formula for that, y'all. The cure for suffering criticism when you do dumb stuff is my life's in danger. I'm getting death threats. I don't know why. I didn't do nothing. I was just minding my own business. And they start saying everybody want to hurt me and stuff. Well, we know that's garbage. That's a method and a tactic that they use to say, woe is me. Now I'm the victim because I'm a dummy. So let's see what is this, O'Donnell or some, I don't know his name. He brings her on the show to explain herself. Now understand the breaking news to come is that now this crazy chick is getting impeached. So let's go ahead and see.
The Secretary wrote, I conclude that the record establishes that Mr. Trump, over the course of several months and culminating on January 6th, 2021, used a false narrative of election fraud to inflame his supporters and direct them to the Capitol to prevent certification of the 2020 election and the peaceful transfer of power.
Wow. So this is like a brief statement coming from the crazy lady up there in Maine that lost her brains. Yeah. So here she is. She's he's reading from her declarations. These are all the things that she's concluded based on the January 6th committee bipartisan, which we all know what that means, report. Now, there's no trial. That wasn't a trial. The J6 committee didn't run a trial. It was a sham hearing that just featured a whole bunch of people who wanted to stick it to Trump, that excluded all types of exculpatory evidence and didn't allow any cross-examinations. But she's taking that and she's saying, yeah, this is why I made this decision. I based it on these things. And what else did Trump do?
Likewise conclude that Mr. Trump was aware of the likelihood for violence. And
Since when? Anybody? How do you know what? So Mr. Trump was aware of the likelihood of violence. First of all, every day you wake up, anywhere you go, there's a likelihood of violence. It might be minimal, but there's a likelihood of violence. But even if Trump had a gut feeling that, hey, you know what? I mean, this thing could get kind of violent. Of course, you would have that basic, concern because you got millions of people up there. Millions of people. If you had a concert, a bouncy concert, a Miguel Jackson concert, a Prince concert, what you would end up doing is hiring a lot of security based on the fact that you have tons of people there. You can't have an event without hiring some type of security when you're talking about thousands and thousands of people. Somebody might get drunk and start to fussing and cussing, and who knows? But secondly, Trump also offered 10 to 20,000 troops to come up there. And guess what? I guess, Nasty Pelosi and them didn't have that basic concern. And Mayor Bowser, they didn't have that basic concern. So they said, nah, we don't, we're turning those troops down. You know what? The optics don't look good. We don't like it. Plus, it would be messing up our inside job of an insurrection. We can't have that. If you bring all of these folks up here, how we gonna have folks like Big Ray Epps talking about our problems are in the Capitol. That's where our problems are. Everybody head to the Capitol. We're going that way. How we gonna do that? How we gonna have guys walking around with earpieces and stuff in their ear saying, push them up, breaking windows out and pushing people in the door? How we gonna do that? So we gotta make sure that the path is clear for the insurrection to take place. So here's Trump offering that stuff. And this lady is concluding from the J6 committee report that Trump must have knew about the potential of violence and he was okay with it. In fact, he encouraged it. So what else?
And at least initially supported its use.
What? Now that's a shocker to me. And at least initially supported its use. Did anybody recall that part of the? Did anybody hear Trump say anything remotely close to that? What do you mean he supported its use? They just straight up made that up and embellished. There's nothing on record that would make anybody think. Real proof. Outside of the J6 committee just making stuff up. Real proof that Trump supported the use of violence? Oh, you mean when he said we got to go over there and fight to take our country back by demanding that our delegates make the right decisions or else primary them? You mean that right there? Is that a support of its use? They are straight lying. This lady knows they're lying, or either she's intellectually challenged and she's not able to say, now wait. Before I make this decision that would destroy the opportunity for all of these people to vote, maybe I should look and see where exactly did Trump say he support the use of violence?
Given he both encouraged it with incendiary rhetoric and took no timely action to stop it.
That right there describes every Democrat. Brett, you know what? These are mostly peaceful protests. You know what? I don't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. And who knows? Maybe there will be. If you ain't see anybody, and I mean anybody, get up in their face and tell them you're not welcome to the streets. All of that stuff that comes out of the Democrat Party that encourages their language is inflammatory. Trump's a white nationalist, he's xenophobe, he's a homophobe. We got Hitler, he's a tyrant, and this and that. He hates black people. He hates Latino people. All of those things. And then you get Joe Biden getting up there. MAGA, ultra MAGA people. And you know what? The MAGA, the Trump MAGA, extremist MAGA, MAGA, danger to the country, danger to our democracy. Led to a young man getting ran over by a crazy person who said that he thought he was one of those extremist MAGA folks. There you go. But here you have Trump that is talking about, yeah, I felt we was ripped off in an election. And how about you march over to the Capitol, and let your voices peacefully be heard. And somehow we were to interpret that as Trump's calling for violence, man. That rhetoric right there makes me want to go and launch an insurrection. That we're unaware of. We're unaware of we're launching an insurrection because we never heard Trump say, go do this. We don't know where this is coming from. It's just, the dog whistle. It was the dog whistle. Yeah. So let's finish hearing how this lady made this decision, y'all.
We just heard Yale historian Professor Blight saying that you got the 14th Amendment exactly right.
Oh, y'all hear that? Now, this is the stage of legitimizing this. There you go. He wants to start off by referencing somebody that the left has been using to push this that got some credentials and some letters in front of his name. We just heard that this peanut head prostitute that we've been using said that you got it right. So he wants everybody that's watching right now to look at her as not a hack, not a very partisan, unelected bureaucrat that's trying to stop an election, not somebody who's trying to interfere with our elections or remove the choice from all of these voters. No. That's not what you should be looking at when you look at this lady. He's setting the scene. He's setting the groundwork for you to accept what she's saying. Because he says, this very smart, important person that we've been using, that we've been claiming, hey, this guy's a conservative. He's a conservative judge. He's, look at that. He's a leading expert on this and that. And he said, what you did, you got it right. So now he's laying the groundwork. But look, she don't look too confident in her choices, y'all. In fact, she gonna look real robotic. Like, hey, listen, they called her up and said, hey, listen, we know you're gonna take some heat for this. We need to bring you on to help you. Okay, so we're gonna bring you on MSNBC and let him go ahead and walk you into allowing yourself to, plead your case, put your argument out there. And he's a friendly. So don't worry about it. He's not there to hurt you. He's not gonna ask you any hard questions. He's going to coach you right through this, and all you need is some talking points. Okay. Some bullet talking points that you want to throw out there, and he won't challenge it. He's going to sit back and nod along to make everybody think that your talking points are legit. That's what he's going to do. Do you think he would do this if they were trying to destroy her, if she was a conservative and she made a choice like this? So watch what he does.
And he is the highest authority on the 14th Amendment as a historian that I'm aware of.
Yeah. She's concerned still. She's starting to look down at her notes. You see her body language? She's getting prepared. Like, okay, all right, I wrote down all the things they told me to say to try to make me not look as stupid and partisan as I am. Now, can y'all hear the audio? I just want to make sure. I didn't ask y'all in the beginning. Make sure the audio is clear. Y'all can hear me and the dummies on this video? Mm-hmm. Okay, as long as y'all can hear me and the dummies. Now, so he's getting her ready. Here's the look. Let's go.
And so he says you got the 14th Amendment exactly right.
Exactly right. Exactly right, y'all. Man, I mean, it is crazy. It is crazy how obvious this stuff is, man. How obvious it is to us. Like, dude, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. Donald, or whoever your name is, he said that you got exactly right. So let me get this straight. This non-judge, non-lawyer read through the J6 committee report and scanned over the 14th Amendment. And in spite of all of the judges, the forefathers, all of the well-prepared, way more knowledgeable people out there, this woman got it absolutely right. There it is. Okay, so Now he done go. He went ahead and he letting us know she got it right. So don't question her when she starts talking right now. So all the stuff she's about to say after what I just said should be uncontested because she got it right, y'all.
What, as you approach this, how did you do your fact finding that you could then apply to the law?
Thank you for asking that question. Well, I opened a Cracker Jack box, and then I dug really deep down inside of it to the point where my elbow was kind of all the way in there and stuff, and I was fishing around. And then I pulled out something, and it said Donald Trump is guilty and he should be removed. Then I consulted a genie. And then I took a glass ball and I shook it and stuff and said, speak to me, glass ball, tell me if Trump is guilty. Then I did fling, fling, flew at that rock, scissors, paper. And that was one of my methods. And then, you know what I did? I flipped the coin. I said, you know what, I'm going to flip this coin. And if it's tails, Trump's guilty. And if it's heads, he's innocent. Up tails it is. There you go. That's pretty much what she did, y'all. But let's go ahead and hear her try to tell us that she went through a legitimate process. Well thought out.
Thank you so much for having me this evening. And I think for your viewers tonight, it's really important to understand Maine and the fact that different states, as a general matter, states have inherent authority over the ballot. And states manage their own elections differently.
I see.
Different states have different laws regarding ballot access. In Maine, if a candidate is qualified for the ballot, any registered Maine voter may bring a challenge. And then as secretary, I must in fact hold an administrative hearing. I'm a hearing officer, not an advocate, to hear both the perspective of the candidate.
So now y'all hear that? I got to try to convince these people that I'm not a hack. I'm not an inside job. I'm a hearing advocate. I'm a hearing officer. I'm not an advocate. Yes, you are. We're about to expose her as an advocate, as an activist. Yeah, she think we don't know her. She thinks she didn't leave no receipts out there all over the internets. So now here she is trying to lower the suspicions that she might be doing this for partisan reasons, y'all. Might be doing it for partisan reasons.
And the challenger. They present evidence.
Yeah.
They present witnesses.
Yeah.
There's ability to cross-examine the witnesses and contest the evidence. And then my decision is based solely on the record of the hearing, on the exhibits and the witness and testimony presented. So that is how I must make my determination. Maine law requires that I make a determination about access to the ballot and issue that determination within 5 days of the conclusion of the proceedings.
And that determination absolutely must side with finding Trump guilty and removing him from the ballot, right? Could that determination be, thanks for bringing this to us, but you know what, this is a little above my pay grade and out of my hands, and I would hate to disenfranchise all the rest of the voters by removing him off the ballot based on no trial, Trump's not accused, not convicted, nothing, no due process. I'm going to take all of this into my own hands with my limited understanding of constitutional law, of the 14th Amendment, and I'm going to make this choice all by myself because I'm obligated to. How about you say, you know what? Hey, I'm not doing this. Thank you for letting me know about it. How about, if somebody really want to push this to the bar, go above my head and take it to the court, because I don't want to be responsible for this. My job is simply to facilitate the elections, not to interfere in them by siding with a small group of people who have a goal and an agenda to stop Trump from being on the ballot. So she could have made a decision of not doing anything. I'm not siding with anybody. I'm going to keep it just like it is and let y'all, here's my decision, go to the next level. But I'm not going to do this. But nope, not her. So here she goes, y'all, trying to clean up on aisle 5.
So I was duty bound.
She was duty
to follow
bound.
Maine law to ensure
Trump didn't get on that ballot. Because whoever's pulling my puppet strings was like, you know what you got to do. Hey, look, we've been grooming you. We've been grooming you for all these years now. Do what you do best. Be a hack. So, yeah, I was duty bound. I was greater than me. This is her attempt to misplace the blame, to make it appear that the decision was really out of her hands. It was based on my oath. It's not based on personal. It's not me based on disliking Trump, saying Trump is a danger to democracy and all the stuff we're about to hear. It's not based on that. It's solely based on the fact that look at the evidence. Man, I really hate getting involved in stuff like this. You know, I don't like doing stuff like this because I'm all about protecting democracy. But what Trump did is so clear, so clearly a violation of the Constitution. And I just got to do it. I got to do it. It's greater than me.
The candidates, all the candidates who appear on the primary ballot are qualified for the office they seek.
But the Democrats will keep doing this. She puts it right to the state Supreme Court. Why? She knows it's garbage.
Oh, so she gonna make the choice and then do like the Supreme Court justice up there in Colorado did. Now we find Trump guilty of insurrection, so he should be removed. But we're gonna go ahead and leave that up to the Supreme Court because we know it's garbage too. So we're gonna stay. We're gonna stay it. And then here she is. I'm gonna leave it up to the Supreme Court. But I'm at least gonna go ahead and throw a bone out there to all of the crazy radical liberals who think we're making progress. We're doing stuff. Look at that. We're fighting against this evil white national. She's a hero. That woman stepped out and did the right thing. And the media comes out to cover for her.
That means just call it what it is.
I can answer that question. It's arrogance and it's hers. If you look at the statement, Julie, that she put out there when she filed this motion and she's defending her decision, she says, I conclude that Mr. Trump used a false narrative in election fraud. I likewise conclude that Mr. Trump was aware of the likelihood for violence and at least initially supported its use. I mean, this is all about her. I mean, it's Maine. She's out of her league. She's out of her lane. It's definitely going to the Supreme Court. They're going to strike this down. There's no way they can't legally.
She's a featherweight. She's light in the butt. But she out there thumping her chest. Who do you think you are, Mrs. Big Stuff? Who do you think you are? So, Mrs. Big Stuff, all through the conversation, I had to do it. And it's great. You know what? Hey, it's my duty. I made the decision. Now, do you think one person should have that type of power? What happens if that person is partisan? Especially a person who wasn't even elected. A person who isn't even a judge and ain't even a lawyer. But somehow I read that evidence and came to that conclusion. And I wonder, where'd she get all that evidence from?
I see you relying on the proof that Donald Trump engaged in insurrection.
Okay, help her out.
Is that he took no timely action to stop it. And that is an actual fact of the history that we know.
Do you hear this man walking her through her cover? He's like, all right, look now, here, let's go over this before we get started. I think I got some good ways to help you, repair your reputation and bubble wrap you. I think it's good. It'll be good if we focus on the fact that Trump, I'm going to say it's a fact, even though it's not a fact, but I think it'll be good if we focus on that Trump did not initially come out and tell these people to go home. So I guess he tolerated a little bit. He lingered. He waited to see what the results were. Are we winning? Are we winning? No, we're losing. We're getting pushed back. Okay, everybody, abandon. Go home now. It's time to go home. You think that's what he did? You think that's what he did? And you know what's odd about this is all of the encouragement for the summer of love, all of the appeasement for Antifa and Black Lives Matter tearing up everything, all of the attempts to get him out of jail and get some bail from dang on Kamala Chameleon Harris, all of that. And yet it took Joe Biden like a whole year after to finally come out and lightweight condemn all the riots and the burning and the protests. Democrats as a whole still haven't came out and condemned all of that stuff. Still haven't. You got clips all over the internet of those people encouraging all of that stuff and people begging them to come out and condemn it. Up there like, man, the Democrats ain't saying nothing. They ain't saying, where they at? Where they at? And yet Trump gets back to the White House, assess the situation, comes out, makes a press release. Trump could have did that 5 seconds after this started, and they would still say the same thing. Well, he should have did it before it started. He should have condemned it, before it started. Well, did he know it was about to start? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Trump's supposed to be, he's the president. He's responsible and obligated to know everything. He should be omniscient. He's omniscient. So here they are now trying to say there was a time limit that was a little too long. before Trump came out and condemned this. Therefore, that means he's responsible for encouraging or enabling an insurrection. This is a lie.
No, that fact has been established by the January 6th committee and by other investigations of that day. And Donald Trump has never once suggested that he did anything at all during the time when he is accused of doing nothing to stop the insurrection.
We better check.
We can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you.
What the heck?
You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil.
This must be
I know
AI.
how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
That's it.
Is that an artificial intelligence? That can't be Trump. That can't be Trump, because we just heard this hack try to go ahead and give her throw her a bone, which she seems to be going, oh God, okay, I hope I can go through with this. All right, now you're going to help me, right? You're going to help me because I'm in trouble. The people are mad. I mean, I know I thought that this would be fun and all, and that I would get praised, but now everybody's coming down on me. So I'm like a deer in the headlights right now. So here he is saying, yeah, Trump, man, he didn't come out and condemn it. Now I just saw the video right there. Trump did that. But hey, so what? Trump needed to do it like as it was happening right then, without no understanding of what's going on or not and all that stuff. So he's once again leading her through this conversation and interview, and now he's opening up the floor for her to go through her talking points, and watch her eyes throughout this whole comment right here.
Seems to me to be a key element of the evidence you had to consider.
My decision is 36 pages. I encourage people to read it on the Maine Secretary of State website.
That's the first thing. Notice what she does. My decision is 36 pages. I don't want to address it right here, though, because I don't really know a lot about it. I had lawyers write it up and stuff. So just go and read it. However, I do have a couple things they told me to say during this interview that might sway the bubbleheads into thinking I did the right thing. So here they go.
The weight of the evidence, all of the evidence, made clear Mr. Trump was aware of the tinder laid by a multi-month effort to delegitimize.
Look at the eyes. Y'all see those eyes? Is she talking about delegitimize? No, you got them delegitimized eyes right now. Whole time, Mr. Trump was aware that for months he said that the election was Mr. Trump. What did I say again? Mr. Trump said that you see them eyes? Them eyes right now is back and forth to that piece of paper. Bullets.
A Democratic election, the election of 2020, and then chose to light a match on January 6th.
There you go. They giving her great talking points. Okay, just say he was just based on him disagreeing with the election, just like all the Democrats do in every single election, and tries to challenge it. That means he was aware that he lost, and even though we can't get into Trump's heart and determine whether he knew he lost or he actually believed that he won, we're just going to go ahead and say it. We're going to say he knew he lost. Yeah. We're going to say, look at that. I mean, it was obvious that he lost, and they've had no trial. No, they didn't do any of that stuff, but didn't let any real evidence be presented. But somehow he was supposed to know that he lost. And so based on him disagreeing with the results of the election and challenging it, all of that inspired all of these people to do this on J6. Now, understand, guys, when Trump won, all of the reaction of the Democrat Party and the media inspired all of these people around the country to start ripping people's MAGA hats off, throwing drinks in their faces, taking little kids' MAGA hats, hitting people that wore Trump stuff. All of that chaos ensued because the Democrats, not only leading up to the inauguration, but after Trump got inaugurated, for the rest of his term, would always talk about he's illegitimate. Russia helped him. Now, what do you think that did to all their crazy radicals? See, But now all of a sudden, Trump, for a few weeks leading up to the inauguration, disagreed and was challenging it. And now all of a sudden, this right here inspired all these people to get ready for an insurrection.
And then did nothing for a time. The evidence presented demonstrated, and remember the events of January 6, 2021, and this was borne out by the evidence, were unprecedented and tragic. They were an attack not only upon the Capitol and on the government officials there, members of Congress, former vice president, but also an attack
Boy, this is sounding like Nancy Pelosi wrote that one up for her. Now, this is what I want you to say. All right, you mean... Now, I'm the queen of bullcrap. You know that. It doesn't get much nastier than me. That's right. Nasty Pelosi, bag of bones, a.k.a. monkey paw hands. That's right, that's me. Now, before I write your script, I need to take a sip. Oh, yes. That's good, Nasty. That's good. It gets me in the mood. Now, where was I? Yes, it was a rule of law that Trump attacked, and that that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they straight was like, all right, here's some good things to say. All right, yeah, bubbleheads won't catch it, but I do.
The rule of law. And the evidence demonstrated that they occurred at the behest of and with the knowledge and support.
Read that sucker.
Maine Secretary of State.
Man, you can't get more obvious than that. She was fixated on whatever talking points they gave her. And the rule of law, the attack on our democracy, and so you think that's sincere? You think that was organic? That whole interview was coordinated right there and designed to help her out, to get the heat off of her. And I bet you those Supreme Court justices are going, whew, glad another dummy stepped up, take the spotlight off of us for a minute. But trust me, there'll be another dummy after her too. I guarantee you. So here we go.
Bellows, who made history today. Thank you very much.
Now, you would only say made history if you agreed. Look at him. Basically, you're a pioneer. Bella, Della, whatever your name is. Yeah, you hear that? Thank you for joining us, Mrs. So-and-so. She made history today. Hey, he's ecstatic over that. He's looking at her as a champion, y'all. So we already know what his goal and objective was during this interview. Is to put her up there as a pioneer, strong woman, fighting against the evil patriarch tyranny of Donald Trump.
For adjourning our discussion tonight.
Again, I am so mindful, and I said this in my decision.
Mindful in my decision? Why do you talk like everything's a question? Why do you have this inflection in your voice every time you go up? I mean, it makes me think you're a valley girl. Like, really? Like, oh my God, like gag me with a spoon? And I'm supposed to take you seriously? Are you kidding? Every time I thought I was listening to a snotty-nosed teenager girl walking around in some jellies, and got some little of those plastic rings around there and some color in her hair. And, you know, like, really? Yeah, I would, if I close my eyes and open them, I would think I would be seeing somebody twisting their hair. Sometimes I'd be thinking that maybe, oh boy. Boy, if you ever hook up with somebody who got that upward inflection, good luck to you. Maybe that's your thing, but it ain't mine, man. That'll drive me crazy. She'll know every time she's talking, so I really like dinner tonight. The whole time my head going up every time. Night, I'm ready to go home. Why you keep taking me up like that? Every time you go up like that, I'm following it. Trying to figure out where is it going? Why are you going up like that? Where's that going? So let's continue.
That it is unprecedented. No Secretary of State has ever deprived a presidential candidate.
Except for me, because I'm a dummy. And somebody told me to do it, and I had no choice. So now here she is looking down at the notes again, trying to go ahead and empathize with the disenfranchised voters. Listen, y'all, I know. I get it. Trust me, I get it, man. Now, this is unprecedented. Now, hey, look. Trust me. I ain't trying to play y'all. But see, extreme measures are required when it comes down to extreme situations. You understand that? Only reason I'm doing this is because Trump did something unprecedented. So I had to do something unprecedented all by myself.
Of ballot access based on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. But no presidential candidate has ever engaged in insurrection.
You're right, including Trump. I'm still looking around like, what? You're right. So then what are we talking about the 14th Amendment for? Do you even know what an insurrection is, lady? That's my question. So there you go. CNN, MSNBC, bringing her on the run cover for her. Do you think they're going to be like, oh, well, you know what, Mrs. Secretary, you keep saying that he engaged in an insurrection, but I mean, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. Just because you said, I want to know what the evidence, no evidence, I want to know what the evidence is. Evidence. That's what I need to hear coming out of them, because every single time somebody like Vivek come on the show, Trump come on the show, any legitimate conservative, and they start trying to explain something, they're interrupted 22 times talking about where are you getting it from? There's no evidence. And actually, what is that guy doing? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. She made history. So here she is talking about Trump engaged in an insurrection.
And been disqualified under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
And Secretary Bellows, I'd love to hear about your thoughts on like the biggest threats facing our democracy.
And this is where it gets tricky. MCs who rock a rhyme is right on time. I say on time, it's tricky. It's tricky. I met this little girlie. Her hair was kind of curly. So now here we go. It's about to get tricky. They pulled up an old Skype meeting, one of those big liberal sessions, talking about how we could make the rest of the world better. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. So here they are all talking about the white nationalism, racism, disenfranchisism, and all of that stuff. She is an activist.
At this point in time.
Well, what Secretary Griswold just said and named is something that was unimaginable 2 years ago or 10 years ago, and that is election sabotage.
Election sabotage. Now, this sounds like an activist, not just a non-bipartisan stateswoman who's just doing her job. Now, look at that. She's all involved in all kind of other stuff.
Is a crystal clear example of what's happening all across the country. So we need to organize to make sure we have better leaders in positions of power to fight back against that.
Now, that right there sounds like activist talk. Organize, come together, make sure we have different leaders in positions as I spin the barrel of my gun, and hoping this is the bullet that puts me out of my misery as I listen to that voice. So now here she is talking about, well, we need to, mobilize, man. We got to come together to stop leaders. Now, could one of those leaders be Donald Trump? Because, you really focus on making sure that we got better leaders. And, of course, some about racism and disenfranchise of somebody or some people. Who knows? Who knows what it is? But it appears to me that she's more of an activist than a state secretary.
Secretary Benson talked about voter suppression, and that's something that when we started our careers
that we are doing right now with removing Trump from the ballot. So he talked about voter suppression, which is what again? I don't understand. They throw the term out there all the time. Voter suppression. How? Gerrymandering. Making people get out the bed to go vote and having them actually go down and vote on their own and not allowing disenfranchised people to vote like dead people. How would you feel if you was dead and they told you couldn't vote? And then other people like illegal immigrants, things like that, man. It ain't right. It ain't right. We need to let these people vote. And then how are these black folks going to vote and they can't even find out where to go and get an ID and can't even afford it? Can't even afford this voter suppression by requiring them to have an ID. And don't forget, if they're down in Georgia and they're standing in a hot line for a couple hours or so to vote without white folks or somebody coming up and giving them water and giving them lemonade and snacks, that's disenfranchising them. Well, wait, wouldn't the white people also be disenfranchised? No, we don't want to talk about that. We just talking about the black people. Well, is there a difference between a black line and a white line? Is there a segregated line? I don't, maybe. I'm pretty sure there is. That's right. What other lies can we come up with? That's what voter suppression is. It's constantly used to make voting, or should I say cheating, way easier by just saying there's suppression out there. Voter suppression to them is not allowing us to cheat. That's voter suppression, man.
With ACLU and Southern Poverty Law Center, fighting back about systematic, structural voter
Cheating?
oppression, targeting specifically
Here we
black
go.
and brown voters.
Here we
It's
go.
rooted in white supremacy. That is something we have to continue to do work
She's
on.
a full-blown activist. I'm surprised she wasn't up there with the vagina hat on after Trump won. Unbelievable. I knew it was coming, man, but you want us to trust that you're doing this surely and purely out of duty. There you go. I'm an expert on the 14th Amendment. I just read some notes on it, and I mean, I just, I learned fast. I skipped law school, but that doesn't matter. I'm clever. So now here she goes talking about rooted in white supremacy, brown and black people, all of that. And she's an advocate for what? Our democracy and everybody being allowed to vote, except for Trump supporters. Except for Trump supporters. See, even the black ones, because she don't care nothing about that. See, she don't care nothing about those black Trump supporters who might feel like, hey, you white lady, white liberal lady, is disenfranchising me. You're suppressing my vote. I wanted to vote for Orange Man. But you, in your arrogance, decided, no, we know it's best for you black people, because we just assumed that no black people anyway would vote for Trump.
And Secretary Merrill talked about the For the People Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We must have federal standards all across the country.
Is Donald Trump eligible to be president again? That's the legal question facing this country after Maine became the second state to say he's not because of the 14th Amendment's ban on insurrectionists holding federal office. It is a recipe for constitutional chaos that the Supreme Court will almost surely have to solve.
Let's bring in
a recipe for constitutional chaos that she's responsible for. She just threw a big fat can of gasoline on the fire. So now you're going to be one of the elements that causes a constitutional crisis. You're going to open up the door for all this conflict, all of this arguing, all this controversy. In your wisdom and in your intellect, in your call to duty, in your moral convictions, you felt you had to be the one. You had to be the catalyst. I'm going to put this burden on my back. Okay, out of duty. Dookie, that's what she is. Her duty is dookie. So let's see how they feel about her now.
Maine GOP State Representative John Andrews, who filed a motion to impeach the Maine Secretary of State. He joins us now. I don't think before this, many people outside of the state of Maine knew who Sheena Bellows was.
Yeah,
so let's start by you telling us about who she is and your effort to impeach her.
Well, in Maine, the people do not elect the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, or the Treasurer. They are chosen by party insiders in the legislature. So it makes the position inherently political, and Sheena Bellows should know that.
Oh, snap. Sheena Bella should know it. So just like you pick your Department of Justice, the DOJ, Director of Department of Justice, up there like, who is it? Not mucus, but garlic. Yeah, like that guy is supposed to be nonpartisan rather. He was picked by, of course, Joe Biden. That's his boss. He's going to lean, they ain't going to pick a bipartisan, director of Department of Justice. They ain't going to pick one. You're going to pick a hack, especially Democrats. Democrats pick hacks. So they picked her. She didn't get voted in. So we already know they picked somebody who lines up with their liberal progressive views. So now here they are. They're about to try to impeach her.
She should be going out of her way to be nonpartisan. But with this edict, Sheena Bellows has unilaterally disenfranchised 300,060 Maine voters with this partisan move.
So you got all of those people's rights on your hands. Instead of blood, you took the rights. Sheena Bella. You got their There are liberties all over your hands. You're saturated with voter suppression. You're covered with it. So that was her plight. She had to, y'all. It was greater than her.
Our nation is a republic. Maine is made up of citizens and not subjects in the Duchy of Shenandoah. But keeping people they don't like off the ballot is nothing new for Democrats. They did it to Abraham Lincoln. They did it in the Jim Crow Reconstruction South. Over the decades, the Democratic Party hasn't really changed. They've just gotten much better at public relations.
Oh, snap. He went to the gut. He said, man, they've been doing this crap for years. It ain't nothing new. Yeah. But they're the ones that's talking about voter suppression. Because see, voter suppression, don't forget, is anything that stands in the way of their cheating. Anything that interrupts them winning or doing whatever they got to do to win is voter suppression, man. It's suppressing our votes, meaning wherever those votes come from. I could come from, like I said, my great-great-great-grandmother, who I know if she was alive, she would want me to vote her in for a Democrat. There you go. So now, he said all they've done is updated it and learned how to market it better. That they have dropped a psyop in regards to their voter suppression and cheating. They then went with the reverse mind trick to say, look, we're the ones trying to fight against voter suppression. So don't look at us when we actually suppress votes as voter suppression. Okay, we don't want y'all to look at us that way because we keep telling y'all we're fighting against voter suppression. Now, well, hold on, excuse me for a second. What's going on in Chi-Town? Oh, they want to vote against what? You mean the Sanctuary City? Well, no. Don't let these people vote for that mess. Look, all right, suppress their votes. Okay, they ain't going to do what we taught you. And then go out to the mic cone head and say, that's democracy. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Somebody was asking me about some votes and stuff. I'm like, these fools over here trying to vote for stuff. Anyway, now, we're fighting very hard to make sure black and brown people vote. And you know what? All of this white nationalism. Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Excuse me. What, there's black people in Maine that wants to vote for Trump? Are they really black, though? I mean, because, you know, I question their blackness. They're only black if they vote for us. And let's go ahead and assume they're just white. Let's assume they're just white. So it's all white nationalists. So then we don't feel bad about suppressing black and brown people's votes anymore. Here we go. This is how they roll. I hate to have to go ahead and go off the top of my head and improv, but I imagine it going just like that in my head. So let's continue.
John, you used a keyword there, disenfranchisement. And if you look back, a Twitter, now known as X post from Bellows in January of 2022, she said this: the fundamental right of any American citizen to vote freely, fairly, and to have their vote counted is the premise of our democracy.
The threats to our democracy did not end on January 6th or January 7th.
Shenna Bellows, the Secretary of State for Maine, a firm believer in democracy, but not really.
What we have seen since then all across this country, legislature after legislature have passed bills restricting the right to vote, trying to determine who participates in our democracy, and also undermining some of the very structures of our elections themselves. It is a very serious, very dangerous moment in our country's history.
The Constitution and Bill of...
Y'all hear all of that gumbo? That mumbo jumbo, man? She might as well be speaking a full-blown foreign language. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is because, see, when you're a hypocrite, and I know what you're saying is nothing but lies, you might as well be speaking mumbo jumbo. So all of that mumbo jumbo back then talking about it's important that the disenfranchisement of the votes and the voter suppression and all that stuff, except for when we do it. Yeah, because we're the ones protecting our democracy.
Rights are not values to be compromised away, but yet she is not giving those voters the right to vote for their candidate, which it appears that Mr. Trump is the front runner to be the nominee in your state. So is she consumed with, drunk with power of her office, or is there some way you can connect those two opposing statements.
Okay.
Well, they've repeatedly cited the 14th Amendment, Section 3, and under Shenabello's new standard, you could argue that President Biden be barred due to Section 3, with the statement of giving aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. I'd argue that releasing billions to Iran and selling our strategic oil reserves to Chinese interests could qualify that if no convictions are required under Shenabello's new rules.
See, Democrats never think these precedents through. See, they open up all kind of worms and maggots, but they never think about, wow, what other doors are we opening ourselves up to? Because we so blindsided. We are so hyper-focused on Trump that we can't see how this get boomerang against us. The precedent that we set is wide. Because frankly, based on that, Biden, he participated in an insurrection. There you go. By taking that bribe from Xi, now I got a question. Whether now all of a sudden all these Chinese nationals is coming over, you allow them to come into the country, is that maybe because you took money from Xi? I mean, I'm just saying, that big fat balloon that shot over our country for a whole week taking pictures and didn't get shot down. I mean, you're allowing the insurrection to take place on us, man. There you go. So now, with that being said, we could say anything could lead to an insurrection. We could say, well, Biden should be removed from the ballot. Look at all these illegal immigrants coming across the border. Unbelievable.
And that's why this is such a dangerous game that she's created.
But they like those.
John, I spend a lot of time in Maine. I've got friends up there in northern Maine. I know the state from the areas I go to pretty well, which is that there are a lot of conservatives, maybe not Republican voters, but conservative Americans in the state of Maine. Your state house is broken down, favors Democrats pretty heavily, but a healthy amount of Republicans. The Senate a little bit wider margin there, and you've got a Democrat governor. What are the repercussions if this Secretary of State goes through with this and it isn't settled legally? What are the voters in Maine going to think about it?
I think the repercussions should be they should take her out into the town square and egg her. There you go. Not stone her, just egg her. Everybody come with a whole carton of eggs. Fire off at once. You guys stop it. There you go. Egg her. I want her going home slimy. So that's what I think should happen. But now, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and clear. I'm not encouraging violence. I don't want anybody to see the Secretary of State going about her daily activities and decide to hit her with an egg. Okay, that is not what I'm encouraging. It's just done for laughter. Okay, farts and giggles. Let's continue.
He opened the door to election chaos. I really don't think that we can have somebody as partisan as Shenabello being in charge of our elections going forward. I think even extremely progressive Democrat Jared Golden said that she's in the wrong, that he doesn't like Trump, but he should be on the ballot. And I applaud him for saying that because he's correct. It's the right move. And Shenna is trying to jockey herself for the 2026 governor Democratic primary. I'm sure this will be made into a fundraising email in the years to come. I'd put money on that.
Yeah, you're right. This is getting bipartisan criticism from both Democrats and Republicans. What are the people of Maine saying to you? I know that this just happened, but have you spoken to any voters?
Whoa. So this is backfiring on Shenabella. Let's see how the media try to help her out, because this done escalated out of her control. Maybe she didn't think that this would happen. I guess she thought everybody would throw her up on their shoulders and tout her around the streets singing, "She's a jolly good fellow." See, this is the arrogance of the left. They think these virtue signaling, these advocacy decisions like this, because they have tried so hard to brainwash the United States into thinking that Trump is evil and he's a white nationalist. They think that the majority of people, they think their brainwashing has worked. They don't expect the public to react like this. See, in their minds, we've done our due diligence. Most people already hate Trump. I'm pretty sure just a couple fringe corners of the back hills of Alabama or Tennessee might not approve. But the overwhelming amount will embrace us and say, "Great job." And then when everybody comes out like, "What?" It's, oh my God, I thought everybody was celebrating me. But this carries over even into their voters and the folks that are radicalized under their propaganda. When you see people on TikTok posting videos that they don't even realize that this ain't cool. This is going to come back to bite me. But yet I'm posting it with full-blown confidence that the rest of America is going to celebrate this. That's the arrogance of a liberal. Sitting back in your classroom, you know how many teachers got fired? Sitting there recording themselves. Look, I got a gay and lesbian flag up here. And I ripped down the American one. And I told the kids we could pledge to the gay one and this and that. The lady who posted a video getting mad at her 5-month-old kid that was crying. Oh, no, it's 5 years old. 5-year-old daughter who's crying. And the 11-year-old son was like, let me stop her from... No, leave her alone. I don't want her to feel like she has white woman privilege and all of that mess. Indoctrinating her kid because of her crazy ideology and then got the nerve to post that mess. And then when people lit her up, she go, I thought I was standing in solidarity. I thought all the black and brown people would champion me and say, she's a jolly good fellow. Black and brown people recognize craziness too. You do know that. So here they are. They go out there and they do this stuff like, watch this. I can't wait to see what the news got to say tomorrow. Man, y'all get ready. Pop the champagne. And all of a sudden, man, they like, what? Oh, they don't like me like that? Okay. All right, I better go into CNN or MSNBC and see if they can help me out with my reputation.
I was up till about 1 last night answering every phone call I got, and the voters of Maine have had enough. I think for the first time in a long time, we have a real shot at a Republican majority in this state.
Good.
And I would urge everybody out there, even an independent to lean conservative, get out there, vote Republican. You know, I like Ramaswamy and all the things he's been saying, but I think everybody in Maine now is all aboard the Trump train.
All aboard the Trump train. We're going to close, though, with her last-ditch effort. Yeah, after now she's about to be impeached. They're trying to impeach her. Here comes MSNBC to the rescue. Girl, we sorry. We didn't mean to set you up like that. We thought all of our propaganda would cover for you. But don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to bring you on the show. We're going to bring you on the show to try to go ahead and undermine this impeachment, okay? That's what we're going to do. So come on the show. Here we going to go. I'm going to put you, I'm going to pair you with a black woman. Black woman, see? Okay. All right. So now she can't take no heat either because she's a black woman. You just a woman. See, you just a woman. She's a black woman, okay? So she trumps you with the, yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and she's going to go and give you a platform to argue why it's crazy for you to get impeached. Girl, you got to sell it. You're the victim. So here we go. Here's a response to that impeachment.
Response to the impeachment motion and also the claim that this disenfranchises voters in your state.
So first, let's just take this absurd motion. It's absurd.
It's absurd. Y'all see that fake smile? Well, first of all, let's take that as on. It's absurd. Do you think that's sincere? You think she really thinks it's absurd? I'm amazed that this woman even had the nerve to say with this claim that it disenfranchises thousands of voters. That ain't a claim. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact, not a claim. If you remove Trump from the ballot and he's the front runner, that immediately disenfranchises all of those voters. It's not a claim, it's a fact. But now she got to try to act like this is crazy. It's beneath me. These people just tripping. It's absurd. So let's finish hearing her try to argue her case.
Particularly, you don't impeach someone for doing their job.
Poorly? Corruptly? Don't impeach somebody for doing their job corruptly and poorly and by partisans. Yeah, that's what it is. So now she's talking about don't impeach nobody for doing their job. Okay? You hating on me just because I'm doing the right thing. That's what it is. I'm doing my job.
As directed by the Maine state legislature. And keep in mind, for viewers at home who may be new to the issue, Maine is unique in that the Maine legislature, under Title 21A, it's our election laws, has a specific procedure. So I qualified Trump for the ballot based on his petitions and his signatures. And then it was registered Maine voters who have the right to do that under Maine law. 5 of them, 2 former Republican state senators, Kimberly Rosen and Thomas Saviello, and the former Democratic state senator quoted on your show earlier, as well as 2 citizens. They brought that challenge, and under the legislature's directive to me, I must hold a hearing within 5 days, which...
And you must what? Side with them? You must agree with them. You must let a few people that brought this to you. I got to. Look, three or four people brought this to me. What you want me to do? So I'm going to go ahead and side with these three people over the hundreds of thousands of Maine citizens that are going, what the crap? So that's her logic. A handful. Now, does that seem like democracy? A few people can make a decision to disenfranchise, not give them a chance to vote, but straight remove the option for them to vote for who they want to vote for. And yet she's saying she was obligated. Now, you might be obligated under whatever whack law y'all got up there in Maine to make you have to at least hold a hearing from somebody who brings an argument. But you're not obligated to make dumb decisions like that. If it is unconstitutional, if it is going to disenfranchise others, this is the operating mode of the left. It's let's accommodate our small, tiny group of victimized people or people with a grievance and go ahead and give a darn about all the rest of them. So we got, let me see, 0.1 amount of transgenders in society. You know what we got to do? We got to switch up every bathroom and make them, the neutral, gender neutral. And we got to make sure that all of these, how many of them again? Maybe a couple thousand transgender women, only women, because we know that the transgender men won't do this. But those transgender women should all be able to compete against real women in sports. There you go. Because it's important that we attend their needs. For all of the 0.1% of the transgender men and women running around, we have to now rebuild our vocabulary around them. Hello, I'm sorry. What's your pronouns and what? Okay, I don't want to get this wrong. All of that. That's what gets these people in trouble because they operate as if the majority all thinks like they do. That's the arrogance of the left.
I did. And then I'm required by the law to issue a decision on that hearing within 5 days of the conclusion.
Issue a decision on that law. What decision are you required to issue? Are you required to agree with them? Give them what they want? That's right. I mean, what if they came and said, look, I think we should get paid $1 billion as every voter. That's my grievance. And you're obligated to agree with that, regardless how stupid it might sound. Okay, I'm required to agree with. This is dumb. See, so now she's pretending that these grievances were that accurate. She had to jump into action, did her due diligence, did all of her research. I guess had a magical, invisible trial with cross-referencing and examinations and evidence and conclusions. And somehow maybe the invisible version of Trump showed up and they had a testimony and a hearing and a jury. I thought that was called the impeachment trial, the second impeachment trial, where Trump was acquitted for the garbage she's accusing him of. But hey, her opinion's greater than that acquittal. See, it's greater than that acquittal.
Of the hearing proceedings. That is my obligation under the law and under the oath I swore to uphold the Constitution.
There you go. Misplaced that blame. It's not my stupidity. It's not my activism. No. What it is, I'm required under the law. So don't get mad at me. Don't call me the dummy. I don't want the blowback. It was greater than me. So now that's her get off the hook card. I had to do it. You think I wanted to do this? No. I had to do it. And for these people to impeach me for doing what I had to do, then go ahead. Impeach me if y'all want to. I will play the victim and go down as a martyr. Now you're going to go down as a dummy.
Now, and you mentioned this earlier, but it's really important. I, in my decision, suspended.
See, right there. That's what got you in trouble. I, in my decision, arrogance, big old blown up inflated dome. Okay, there's no I in team. So here she is talking about I, in my decision, I decided to say, I don't care about all of you who might be sitting back licking your chops, ready to vote in the primary. I don't care about y'all, even though I claim I care about democracy and disenfranchising people from voting.
The effect of my decision or the appeals process to the court to be carried out, because that is the process and the rule of law under our state. So
why did you do it?
Impeach me for doing my job and following the law here in Maine.
What?
Impeach me for doing my job and following the law here in Maine is absurd. It's some of this inflammatory rhetoric, attack the person rather than debate the issue at hand, distract the public from the issue at hand rather than focusing on the rule of law and the Constitution.
Unbelievable. Because she's not even focused on the rule of law and the Constitution. Yeah, remember, guys, she used YouTube videos as a reference. Yeah, I read a couple. I watched some YouTube videos, and there was this one video I had seen. And then I saw the January 6th committee partisan report, and I said, hey, at that point, Trump definitely have to be guilty. And now don't be up here getting mad at me, okay? Yeah, focus on the details of the Constitution and stuff like that. You're distracting everybody with trying to impeach me for nothing. Yeah, but yet, if she was to sit down and get cross-examined instead of going on these friendly networks for them to run interference and give her cover and do a PR campaign to repair her reputation and make it appear that she's legitimate, if she was to actually sit down with like Mark Levin and he said, yeah, let's talk about those merits. Let's get into the Constitution. Let's talk about that. Let's get into the details. She would be like, I don't know that stuff. Those lawyers told me what to write, what to say. They typed it up for me, said, you could probably get away with this crap right here. Go ahead. See, go ahead, sit her up there with one of the real legal scholars who knows that this is garbage and say, okay, you talking about we should debate the merits, or you're an expert in this. Let's have at it. So what is your interpretation again of the 14th Amendment? How did you come to this conclusion? Did you not see the impeachment trial? Get into that and see what happens to her. That's why she's on these shows, because they're going, we don't want to get into all of those details. We want you to come out and convince the audience that these vague decisions that you made without no supportive evidence, no trial, no due process is legit. We ain't going to even question it. Ain't going to challenge you one bit.
So we'll stop there.
Yeah, you better stop while you're ahead.
Questions.
Yeah, you better stop while you're ahead. Dang on it. So there you have it, y'all. She got an impeachment process coming. Now, unfortunately, there's a chance that she probably is going to skirt because from what I hear, Maine's, just their government is pretty much ran by Democrats at this point. They got the majority. But who knows? Who knows? And if the citizens of Maine have gotten a taste of Democrat rule and how they will just take the choice out of the hands of the people, maybe they might just vote in some people who will appoint a nonpartisan Secretary of State that will uphold the real Constitution, not these fake behind activists that they be sticking in there. So I hope she gets the blowback, and I hope those Supreme Court justices up in Colorado gets it. And yeah, we'll see. Now I'm just sitting back waiting for the next dummy. You know, somebody is going to be like, all right, how much heat does she take? Can I take that type of heat? All right, okay. All right, now look, if I do this, y'all, and I get booted, y'all got me, right? Y'all going to let me go ahead and show up on MSNBC sometimes? Can I get paid to be like a contributor and stuff? So either way, I'm good. I can write a book. Then y'all put me on the network, and I'll be going on to The View and stuff, talking about how I was attacked because I was trying to save America, democracy. That's what's called. Okay, cool. I'm willing to take that risk. There it is. I'm willing to risk the fabric of America. I'm willing to divide and rip the country in half by introducing one of the dumbest things and opening up the biggest can of worms ever. Now, you want to talk about something that could invoke or provoke people to civil war? Imagine if they were successful and being able to do this in a large amount of states. There will be people in those states ready to go to war. There will be people outside of those states ready to go to war. I mean, that would be like the last draw. But these people are playing with this. This is what burns me up. They're doing this like it ain't nothing. Like this ain't even a big deal. Like this is a real thing that we should be contemplating and taking seriously. As if, yeah, I mean, we should be debating this because it's obvious that they're doing this to fight against, Donald. No, it's obvious that you guys are the real insurrectionists and you're willing to overthrow our democracy for your own power. And that right there would be the last straw of just in y'all face. Like, yeah, y'all thought y'all had it in the bag. Yeah, y'all might have thought y'all skirted through the 2 impeachments. Yeah, y'all was like, look, we got through those bad boys. All right, man, we good now. Then we ran it back with the J6 garbage. Y'all thought y'all skirted through that. Then we slapped 4 indictments on y'all, and y'all thought y'all slipped that. Got y'all little, picture of Trump when he took his, profile, you know what I'm saying? And all of that. Y'all was celebrating. Thought y'all was good, man. And then what did we do? Snatched it right out from under your nose. The last minute. 30 states decide we're taking Trump off the ballot. That can't fly. That can't fly. And they need to stop toying around with this crap. They really need to do it. But you know them, they ain't gonna do it because this is their golden goose. This is their last ditch effort. It's their Hail Mary. So I'm going to keep covering it as long as they keep doing it. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking about some other well, not tomorrow, but the next time y'all see me, I'm going to be talking about some other craziness, y'all. So I'm glad y'all was able to chill with me tonight on this Saturday. I did see somebody say they had been unsubscribed, and I'm going to make sure I take a note of that and get that out there to YouTube as well. And I will try to find out how to post their response so y'all could read what they're talking about and see if it fits you. Because they told me to tell my people. And they said, tell your people they need to do better. They need to do this and that. And I'm going, all right, I'm going to tell on y'all. I'm going to let the people read it, see what they think. So I will post that somewhere. I've got to figure out how to do it, man. I ain't got no message board or nothing. I'll figure it out. But with that being said, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms. Please, if you can, support the channel, my fundraiser. The link is below the video. And also, what else? Oh, the store, the merch store. So please do that. And because of the haste to put this together for you guys tonight, I didn't even include the phone number to text MAGA to. But if you watch me regularly, you know that number. I think I haven't memorized this. 330-9744607. Might be 9740607. Who knows? But if it ain't, don't take my word for that. Don't take my word for it. And I don't even have my theme song to close out. So I guess I'm just going to beatbox on the way out. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. We'll see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.